Headlines. 11 villagers among 30 abducted in Kaduna freed after ransom payment. 2 adults, child trapped as one-story building collapses in Lagos. Supreme Court affirms Peter Mba as Enugu governor. And on the foreign scene, France closes Niger embassy after row with military junta. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Update. I am Sumaya Abubakar. Thank you for joining us, and now the details. Now, 11 kidnapped residents, including 7 females, 2 teenage boys and 2 infants, have been released among the 30 villagers abducted from Ungwan Gwada community in Igabi local government area of Kaduna State. Their release followed the payment of a 6.5 million naira ransom to the kidnappers. Last week, 2 nursing mothers and an infant were freed on health grounds. Currently, a total of 16 persons have been released, leaving 14 villagers still in the hands of the bandits. The 11 released individuals were said to be free after their relatives gathered the ransom demanded by the bandits. However, after collecting the money, the bandits released only 11 people and demanded additional millions along with motorcycles for the release of the remaining captives, highlighting the ongoing challenges faced by the affected communities. In Ghana Rope Village, Plateau State, gunmen attacked on Wednesday, resulting in the tragic death of 19-year-old Jude Nicodemus. 2 others were severely injured in the assault that occurred at about 8 p.m., according to Ruang Tengwong, the National Publicity Secretary of the Birom Youth Movement. Tengwong, in a statement, highlighted the unprovoked nature of the attack and the recent surge in violence in Barikiladi, Riom, Bokos and Mangu by the marauders. These assailants have ominously pledged to disrupt the Christmas and the New Year celebrations in the state. Expressing concern, Tengwong called on security outfits, particularly Operation Safe Haven, led by Major General A.E. Abdusalam, to intensify efforts in countering the resurgence of terrorism. Despite the grim situation, the BYM commended the rapid response of Sector 4 Commander Colonel U.S. Abdusalam, whose swift action helped prevent further casualties in the area. The incident underscores the urgency for robust security measures to prevent or protect the communities during the festive season. In Oyo State, about 2 special police constabularies, Jimo Lukman and Karim Fatai, have been dismissed from the Nigerian police force. Their dismissal confirmed on Thursday by the Commissioner of Police, Hamzat Adebola, following their caught-on-video act of demanding money from a Dutch tourist visiting the state. The incident occurred while the 2 officers on duty along Moniya Isheyin Road were captured in a viral video engaging in the extortion attempt. Commissioner Adebola made the announcement at the state police headquarters in Eleyele, Ibadan. The swift action of dismissing the officers underscores the commitment to addressing police misconduct, particularly instances of extortion, ensuring accountability within the police force. Away from that, we have 2 adult females and a baby have been trapped in a 1-story building that collapsed in the Ebutemeta area of Lagos State. The incident happened in the early hours of Friday morning. Director of Lagos State Fire and Rescue Service, Margaret Adesheye, confirmed the incident in a statement, adding that efforts were underway to rescue the victims and the baby. The Rescue Services Director also noted that 1 adult female has been rescued successfully. However, the reason behind the building's collapse was not stated.
Shall I check? Shall I go check? Okay, leave this iron. Leave them. I'm not going to person.
Members of the Nigerian Labour Congress and the Trade Union Congress joined forces in a show of solidarity for the recently embattled Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara on Friday. Also participating in the march were students, youths, civil society organizations, labor unions, and members of the Hausa community in the state. They gathered in front of the government house in Port Harcourt, the state capital, just days after President Bola Ahmed Tinubu intervened in the political crisis rocking the oil-rich state. Rivers found itself at the epicenter of a power tussle between the former governor Nyesom Wike and Fubara. The supposed crack in the relationship between Wike and Fubara resulted in a split among lawmakers in the House, with 27 of them defecting from the PDP to the ruling APC, a party in whose central government Wike currently serves as a minister. The situation deteriorated to the point where the governor faced an impeachment notice, witnessed the demolition of the assembly complex, and expressed a series of resignations of pro-Wike commissioners in Fubara's cabinet. However, a resolution appears to have been reached after Tinubu mediated a meeting with the warring parties this week on Monday.
Don't be under any pressure by anybody. We want to call on the governor. No presentation of the second budget to perform 10 members of the House of Assembly. We have one speaker recognized by law, Right Honorable Edison here. And as much, the seat of the 27 lawmakers is vacant. We want to call on the governor. We don't know what you are doing. Our people, we voted for you. And you must listen to us. Tinubu is not from Rivers State. Tinubu is not from Rivers. And as much, His Excellency, please, we beg you in the name of God, don't listen to anybody,
On litigation matters, the Supreme Court on Friday affirmed the election of Governor Peter Mba of Enugu State. Justice Muhammad Garba, who delivered the lead judgment, described as mere allegation the statement that Mba did not possess the National Youth Service Corps NYSC certificate. The court resolved all the issues raised in the appeal against the appellant. The appellant, Chijioke Edeoga of the Labour Party, had dragged INEC and Mba before the court to challenge the decision of the Court of Appeal, which dismissed his case against the election of the governor. The Lagos Division of the Appeal Court, in its unanimous decision, resolved all three issues argued against the appellant at Edeoga. The three-member panel, presided by Justice Tani Hassan, held that the appellant failed to prove that the respondent was not qualified to contest the governorship election. On the allegation of overvoting, Hassan, in her lead judgment, held that the voters' register was never placed before the lower tribunal, stressing that failure to tender the voters' register before the lower tribunal rendered the appeal inadmissible. Supreme Court has on Thursday reserved judgment in an appeal filed by the Kano State Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf against Court of Appeal verdict that nullified his election. Trust TV's Shafiu Suleiman reports.
The ongoing legal battle for the tap job in Kano has entered its last lap as parties in the appeal before the justices of the Supreme Court argued for and against their submissions to prove their case. The appellant, Abba Kabir, wants the Supreme Court to set aside verdict of the appeal court, which affirmed his earlier sack by the State Election Petition Tribunal.
Well, there was only two arguments that were in the appeal. The issue of membership of our candidates, that is the engineer Abba Kabir Yusuf, which was a settled principle of law. This Supreme Court has settled it. The issue of membership is non-justiciable, is no-go area, is an issue that has to do with the party.
There are 9 appeals filed in this appeal. Of course, the Supreme Court collapsed all the appeals into one. That is the one filed by Abba Kabir Yusuf, the candidate, and that appeal was taken. All the other appeals will abide. Arguments were canvassed, briefs were adopted, and the judgment has been reserved by the Supreme Court.
The Apex Court will also deliver a verdict regarding the controversy around the discrepancies in the appeal court's certified true copy of the judgment. The Supreme Court has, in a similar circumstance, reserved judgment in the Bauchi State governorship election dispute between Senator Bala Mohammed of the PDP and his APC counterpart, Air Marshal Sadiq Abubakar. Shapir Suleiman, Trust TV News, Abuja.
You're watching News Update on Trust TV. Coming up, we'll take a look at Katsina State government says illegal mining ban and still in force. This and more after the break. Stay with us.
This is Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
It is a big shame, as far as I'm concerned, that for 3 years, the Nigerian state has failed to give hope to the people of the Niger Delta.
The Nigerian government and the oil companies don't care about Nigerians. All they ever care about is the resources being extracted from the area. This is why life expectancy in the Niger Delta is at an abysmal 41 years, one of the lowest anywhere in the world.
Within 3 years to this time now, no more Awoye again. The roof will be too born.
Before when they come for this Awoye, they come and surround. They say they will be selling copying.
You don't know where the fire they come from down. For instance, how the fire they come from. No. When they question, they no fit question.
So when you have consistent burning of hydrocarbon, like the one happening in the Ororo oil field, oil well, when you have that, it means that the people who are predominantly fisherfolk and farmers can no longer carry out their trade.
The voices of those people needs to be heard.
Make the government help we. Now die we there for a year.
Are you interested in the latest news and developments in Nigerian politics, policy, governance, and other critical national issues? Look no further than Daily Politics on Trust TV. Our panel of experts and key people in government provide in-depth analysis and commentary on the biggest stories in Nigerian politics.
And 33.3 million Nigerians are suffering from multidimensional poverty.
It's a much calmer Buhari than the Buhari who was in the khaki uniform.
Naira to Naira X rate is higher anywhere in the world. The Naira is higher than dollar exchange rate. So you want to...
This central bank governor you're doing, you must do it fast. Number of casualties we have had, we shouldn't have had. Security as far as Nigeria is concerned, we have wronged.
From the inner workings of government to the latest on legislation, rule of law, implementation and democracy, we have you covered. Don't miss out on the latest political news and discussion. Tune in to Daily Politics, weekdays on Trust TV, your source for reliable and unbiased coverage of Nigerian politics.
This is Africa Update on Trust TV. I am Ayuba.
Thanks for joining.
Rise of Africa, stand and make sure that our people understand.
And the story of the OAU can be told and retold. It cannot be denied that it made a contribution to the process of decolonization of the continent in many ways.
Ethiopia is where it is today in no small part because of the tireless efforts of the African Union and the wisdom of its deeply held belief in the principle of African solution to African problems.
The bulk of African countries were under colonial rule in 1945. So they did not take part in the negotiations that established the Bretton Woods institutions.
But the African continent is not included in the South-South relations. And therefore our objective is to ensure that the Africa Free Trade Agreement is actually implemented, and the BRICS countries, all of them are trading with Africa.
And we know that there are resources in Sudan, especially in Darfur, and that is why Darfur has been on the front burner for a long time.
So Cameroonians are anxious, Cameroonians are impatient, Cameroonians are like, oh, many of the guys are not talking today. You can read it all over the social media.
Egypt has officially declined to accept fleeing Palestinians for fear that the more Palestinians you accept across the border into Egypt, the more trouble there may be for the country in the nearest and farthest future.
You're just joining us. This is News Update on Trust TV. Here's a recap of our top stories. We brought you 11 villagers among 30 abducted in Kaduna freed after ransom payment. And 2 adults, child trapped as one-story building collapses in Lagos. Now moving on to more stories, residents of Owerri, the Imo State capital, have decried the surge in the price of livestock, especially chicken, as the world counts down to the 2023 Christmas and New Year celebration. Trust TV's Ajibade Praise was at the livestock section of the popular relief market in Owerri and filed in this report.
Presently, I am at Relief Market, just by the livestock section. It's more like a tradition. Every home who celebrates the Christmas must at least kill a chicken. Here we are in the market to sample opinions of those who are selling, as well as those who are buying. What is the price talking about? And of course, right here on this table, a lot has been bought and has been killed as well. And here is this man doing justice to that. We will be speaking with him.
Yes, they're really happy because Christmas is celebration time. People bring out money to celebrate. Do you understand? So people are happy, bring out money to celebrate their Christmas. So whatever price you tell them, they will pay.
Buyers here have resorted to reducing the number of birds they intend to buy. Those who buy 3 to 5 birds before now are now going for 1 or 2. For others, they have to reduce the size of the birds they go for, considering the present-day realities. This is because no matter the situation, they must go home with at least 1 chicken to celebrate the festivity.
The price is high, but normally we'll still do the doings. So that's it. No, it's not the law, but it's just, it has been like that. So we made it like that. So it has been like it's fine. Yes, it's okay for no matter the price. Yes.
The chairman of the livestock section of the market, Kingsley Osei, laments the low patronage experienced this season, attributing it to the high cost of the livestock. He said price of birds now range from 6,000 naira to 20,000 naira as the case may be.
Yes, we are not making good sales as at last year. You can't compare last year's sales with this year's sales because prices of feed increased more than that of last year, and the thing affects our business. So people are not buying like we expected due to high price.
Well, we have different prices. We have that of 8,000, 9,000, and other sizes there like 6,000.
So the cheapest chicken you have here is how much? The cheapest, the least you can go.
6,000.
6,000.
There is any way they can come and help us at least to reduce the cost of feed. If the feed can reduce, the rate of the chicken will also reduce.
Just like Carissa is saying, he said people are going all out to buy no matter the price because it is a celebration time and they just have to celebrate no matter the cost. That's the situation right here in the market here. I remain Ajibade Praise Awofeso. Trust TV News, Owerri.
Despite banning all mining activities in Katsina State, illegal miners still continue mineral exploration in some locations across the state. Now, recently, the government had discovered an illegal mining site at Rafingora in Tandama ward of Denja local government area. Abdullahi Yamadi completes the report.
This is a gold and kaolin mining site where over 2,000 illegal miners defy orders and continue with their exploration work months after banning their activities. The government, after banning mining activities, summoned all stakeholders to discuss and review their operation and possibly facilitate validation of new licenses, but majority of the miners turned down the offer. However, at a visit to one of the mining sites in Denja local government, Katsina State Deputy Governor Farouk Lawal Jobi restated the commitment of the government to ensure strict compliance with the order banning all mining activities in the state.
It is the intention of the government to organize this sector and ensure that things are done properly in line with the rules. So the government is determined to ensure that whoever is engaged in this illegal activity, if arrested, will be brought. And that's why we're here, to assess the situation and see what can be done going forward.
The chairman of the miners here told the deputy governor that the mining permit issued to them some years back had expired since 2017 and advised the government to take advantage of the gold deposit in the area to provide jobs to its teeming unemployed youth. He also said over 2,000 illegal miners operate day and night at this site, but fled on hearing about the visit by the deputy governor. Sir, we have been mining here for quite a long time. All we do is a struggle to make ends meet. But if the government can come in and regulate our activities, I think that would be better for all of us. We have been given permit to work here, but that has been long, and the permit have expired since 2017.
2017.
Illegal mining activities are said to be fueling the insecurity bedevilings of northern states, which calls for quick government intervention. Abdullahi Yamadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
Amid the continued cash scarcity resulting from the redesign of 3 naira notes, the Central Bank of Nigeria has issued a stern warning against collusion between deposit money banks and point-of-sale operators, the POS. According to a statement by the CBN spokesperson, Sidi Ali Hakama, such collusion is negatively impacting the availability of cash and the smooth circulation of the naira in the country. The CBN is actively investigating reported cases of collusion between banks and POS operators, naming these actions as potential undermining the economy. The statement emphasizes the CBN's disapproval of such inappropriate conduct and warns that relevant sanctions will be imposed on those found wanting. The Apex Bank is encouraging the public to explore alternative payment channels, advising citizens to report any unauthorized activities such as capping and hoarding by banks or POS agents directly to the CBN branch in their respective locations. This cautionary note underscores the central bank's commitment to maintaining the integrity of the financial system and ensuring the effective circulation of the national currency. Away from Nigeria, in response to mounting anti-French sentiments in Niger following a July coup, France has announced the closure of its embassy in the country. The decision stems from a staff exodus triggered by an attack on the embassy on July 30th, compounded by a blockade enforced by Niger forces, rendering normal embassy operations unfeasible. With the majority of diplomatic staff departing in late September, the closure became an inevitable outcome. Local staff members have been let go and duly compensated. Tensions between Niger and France heightened after the military coup ousted elected leader Mohamed Bazoum on July 26th. This led to the cancellation of a defense agreement, the expulsion of the French ambassador, and a strategic shift towards closure ties with Russia. Notably, the French troops engaged in an anti-terrorist mission based in Niger are set to complete their withdrawal this month. And finally, in sports, in the latest FIFA men's ranking for 2023, the Super Eagles of Nigeria secured the 42nd position, as revealed by FIFA on Thursday via its official website. Within Africa, the Super Eagles maintained their 6th position, trailing behind the Atlas Lions of Morocco, Teranga Lions of Senegal, the Carthage Eagles of Tunisia, Desert Foxes Algeria, and the Pharaohs of Egypt. Looking ahead, the Super Eagles aim to boost their standing in the rankings through a strong performance at the upcoming 2023 African Cup of Nations in Cote d'Ivoire, scheduled from January 13th to February 11th, 2024. And with that, we wrap up news update on Trust TV. Do not forget to follow us across all our social media platforms and join our YouTube live stream for more news programs and documentaries. I am Sumaya Abubakar. Thanks for watching.